everybody. Sean Orleans here for Inside Anarchy. Special edition this time. We are coming to you from the home of the former Gateway Heritage Champion, member of GrindHouse, the ace of Anarchy, Davey Vega. Vega, you requested some time here, so we brought the camera out. What do you have on your mind?
I mean, you've pretty much summed it up already. I had to ask for time. The ace of Anarchy had to ask for time to speak his mind. That's disrespect in and of itself. It's a disrespect that I've been talking about. And I wanted to set a couple things straight.
Okay.
Because I've heard what everyone's saying about Gary and I, that this is personal. It wasn't personal until he went after my knee. It wasn't personal until he took an injury that is very well known, both of my knees, and he used it as an out to get a win over me.
I mean, it was legal in the match. Like, it was legal in the match. Like, people wrestle and fight and compete with injuries all the time.
Yeah, agreed. And it's an unwritten rule. Eyes, nose, teeth. You stay away from certain areas, especially Gary and I. See, I'm not talking about within the confines of a match, Sean. I'm not talking about that bullshit. I'm talking about 17 hours, one way, in carloads. Me, Fitchett, Gary, Jackson, Jalistico. Family.
Yeah.
That's how close we were. It wasn't personal until he decided to take an out because he knew I had him dead to rights and he couldn't beat me.
I get the feeling this is something that's been bubbling for quite some time. The knee is just the tipping point of this.
It's no secret that Fitchett and I feel that even though we are the pillars, along with Gary and Warhorse, we don't get the light shined on us as much anymore. Is it because we're not going to Europe anymore? I don't know. Is it because we're not going to Ireland? I don't know. Is it because we don't have tag team championships everywhere anymore? I don't know. But what I do know is that Gary gets what Gary wants all the time. And I'm sick of it. We don't want scraps anymore, Sean. We don't want the scraps. Because we were there from day one, just like Gary.
Right.
Day one. And another thing, Ace of Anarchy, I was put on the shelf. I'm only needed when it's convenient. When Gary's got other big engagement or something. That's the only time that I'm needed. And then I'm put back on the shelf with the rest of them until I'm needed again.
What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
Remember that show last year? Jeremy Wyatt had to call somebody out from the locker room for the championship match?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, August.
That wasn't my match. It wasn't supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be in a singles match that night.
Right.
And I hadn't wrestled a singles match in 3 years, Sean. What did I do that night?
You went out there and you competed.
Yeah. I made that title, by the way. You know that?
Yes.
Yeah. I started that title. And that, you know what, that's another thing, Sean, that's another thing that boils my blood. I started with that title. Everyone abandoned that title. Everybody, including your savior, Jackson, and St. Louis Anarchy. No one gave a fuck about it. I made that title. And now, I don't even get a title shot. I don't even think I had a rematch after I lost.
I don't believe
Mr.
so. No.
Statistician?
I don't believe you have.
Okay, thank you.
If I'm thinking correctly, I think the only match you've had for the title since your last run with it was against Jeremy Wyatt last August.
Which wasn't supposed to happen.
Fair point.
The Ace of Anarchy had a handout. That doesn't make sense, does it?
I don't know if I would call it a hand. I don't know if I would call it.
Sean.
I don't know if I would call it a handout. Okay, Vega, you alluded to the carload with yourself, Fitchett, Gary, Evan, Jackson. You guys put a lot of miles on the road, put a lot of miles on your bodies, sitting there in a cramped car with four other grown ass men.
Yeah.
But you know this probably better than anyone. Times change, things change, people move on, they sort of go their own separate ways.
Agreed.
That happens as people get older. So Gary ends up striking out, gets in a car with Aaron Williams,
That motherfucker.
and that's my point here. He strikes out on a carload with Aaron Williams. They hit it off. They connect. They form a tag team, a bond, a unit, unsigned, don't care. I kind of wonder, is his friendship and teaming with Aaron Williams the real personal issue with you? Beyond the knee.
I haven't been upfront with Gary about that situation, other than when we came out and we threw the warning shot at him. That wasn't personal at all.
Super kicking Gary after
Yes.
he'd wrestled
That wasn't
a
personal.
borderline death match against John Wayne Murdoch.
Correct. Aaron was ducking me. He was ducking us. And we needed to make a message very, very clear. Gary, unfortunately, was the collateral damage. Aaron comes in. How long has Anarchy been around?
About
In
20
one
years.
Form, about 20 years in one form or the other.
Right.
2011, St. Louis Anarchy starts. I become the ace almost immediately. And I've been doing this shit for almost a decade. He comes in, has one match. I blow my MCL out in less than 2 minutes. He beats me. And he's the new ace all of a sudden?
I didn't call him the new ace. This was something
Yeah.
that maybe the fans
Oh yeah, they
jumped
sure as
on.
fuck did. You know
Okay.
what? And then, after blowing my MCL out, I worked my ass back through rehab to get to that tag match. We go to war. Me and Fitchett win. Come to the 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm 100%. We go to war again, but I beat him.
Right.
And I had to hear this, that I'm the new ace now? Fuck that, fuck him, and fuck those fans. That's bullshit, Sean. Do you understand where I'm coming from now?
Okay. So it sounds like it is a personal issue then with you.
Again, Sean, it wasn't personal until the knee. And you know what? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But, you know what? If Gary really wants to throw away 20 years of friendship to go slum it with Aaron Williams, by all means, that's your decision, dude. But I have a new group too. I have a couple of guys that caught me when I was at my worst, caught me when I was free falling, and that's GrindHouse. I don't need anybody else.
Okay, Vega, so what is it that you want? What is Davey Vega's end game?
Man, Sean, what does everybody want? Respect. I just want my respect. GrindHouse, we want our respect. We want our due. I want my title shots. I deserve to be in the title picture, every title picture. Gary has 4 title shots in 4 years. How many did I have, Sean? I'll tell you, 0.
I would counter that you did get that one last August against Jeremy Wyatt.
Sean, you're not listening. You're not listening. That was a handout. I had very little time to prepare physically, mentally. That was my first singles match in 3 years, Sean.
Okay. There is a plethora of other contenders for the title. Regardless of what happens with Gary and Derek at Mega Ticket, you have Jeremy Wyatt, you have Davey Richards. Where do you see yourself in there with those other people?
Yeah, all world-class athletes. And guess what? 2012, I became the ace by tapping Davey Richards out. 10 years ago. I've been doing this shit for 10 years, Sean. Jeremy Wyatt, one of the best pure wrestlers in the world, I had to take matters into my own hand with that title shot. I still took him to his limit. His ass almost tapped.
All right, Davey, thank you very much for welcoming us into your home. Thank you for your time. That'll wrap things up for us at Inside Anarchy. Davey Vega next month is going to be going up against Victor Analog. Chance for Davey to move up in the rankings here. And
Move up the fucking rankings? Are you fucking kidding me, Sean? Didn't he just lose to Aaron, who I beat? This is... Look at what just happened. rewind everything, and listen, really listen to what I just said and tell me I'm wrong. Don't listen to this fuck. He's part of the Anarchy office. Listen to me and tell me I'm wrong. Fuck you, Sean. Get the fuck out of my house.